Welcome back to Triple Natures, everybody. Today we are going to be introducing the nature of informative versus concise, which is on pair with germane versus associative, and telling versus exploring. As always, it's important to note that every personality has both sides of every nature, and how you develop in your personality will affect how you express a nature. This nature is one that I didn't actually find myself. It was found by Linda Barings. She referred to it as informing versus directing. I renamed it informative versus concise for my own use. This nature refers to how much a person speaks in conversation. Informative personalities have a tendency of letting their words flow, and they seek for a fuller expression. Concise personalities, on the other hand, have a tendency of measuring their words and making sure that they're doing what they should be doing. It's important to note that how large of a topic a person is tackling can make a big difference on how much they speak, regardless of whether or not they're informative or concise. If the topic is very, very small, then an informative personality still might speak for a brief amount of time because there's just not much to say. If you give a large topic to a concise personality, then they might end up talking for a long time. The point here is just that if you were to give, for instance, a ISFJ and an ESTP the same topic to speak about, the same prompt, so to speak, then an informative personality, the ISFJ, would end up filling that more fully and looking to extend the topic. Whereas an ESTP, on the other hand, would speak in a way to get to the point of what they're saying more quickly. There'd be an efficiency to what it is that they're saying. An important thing to note here is that introversion and extroversion can make it seem like a personality is more or less informative or concise than they really are. For instance, the concise introverts will come across as more concise than the concise extroverts because the extroverts are generally going to engage people in conversation more often, but they will be looking to do it in an efficient way. On the flip side, the extroverted informatives will generally come across as more informative than the introverted informatives, but that's just because they have a tendency of being around a lot of people and talking to a lot of people. But if you get into a smaller one-on-one situation with, say, an ISFJ or an ISFP, those introverts who are very informative, and you get them talking in that smaller, closer, intimate setting, then you will find that they are extremely informative. It's just that they're less likely to be talkative in a larger group because they're introverts. Informativeness and conciseness are both important and useful in different contexts. Informativeness is most useful when everyone needs to be on the same page, or you need to be sure that there's no pieces of information that the person you're talking to lacks by the end of the conversation. So, social contexts or teaching contexts are some of the situations where informativeness might be more important. Conciseness, on the other hand, is useful in situations where you don't have as much time, or you're looking to be very efficient in what it is you're saying, such as in business settings or in an emergency. An informative personality and a concise personality talking to each other can sometimes result in frustrations arising. The informative personality might be frustrated by the brief expression of the concise. They might think, that's all you're going to say? That brief idea? Do you even want to be talking to me? Because from their perspective, a brief conversation isn't really a conversation. On the flip side, a concise personality talking to an informative might hear all that the informative is saying and be frustrated that they're still talking. I've gotten everything that I need to hear out of you, so what is it that you're still trying to tell me? Of course, neither communication style is necessarily right or wrong, and if an informative personality and a concise can learn to come together and work together, then they can cover for each other's weaknesses. Please tell me what you think of this nature. Drop it in the comments. Also, if you want to help me in my research, then please reach out to me. Till next time.